Meet the Candidates. Brought to you by Grand County Television, Channel 18.
Hello there, my name is Gary DeVries, and I'm with Grand County TV 18. Thanks for tuning in for this event today for the Meet the Candidate. We're here with Chaz McConnell, and he's going to talk about some issues around the Valley and some political issues for the election coming up. We're here at Cousins Ranch here in Fraser. I want to thank the Grand Historical Association for allowing us to use this historical place to carry on our conversation. Today, Chaz is going to be running for District 1 for the County Commissioner race. And I want to welcome you here. And
thank you, Gary.
And thanks for coming in and talking with us and discussing some of the political issues around here that I know you're completely involved in and want to be involved in. I know you've been in business and held several positions up here in leadership in our county for many years. Can you tell us some of your background and some of the things that people may not know about you?
Well, Gary, I moved to Grand County 33 years ago. I was actually on my way to someplace else, like most people in Grand County. Ended up staying. After graduating from college, I decided to go out into the world, try to find out. I grew up on the East Coast. I wanted to see what it was like out west. So I loaded up my car and started driving. I only had $58 in my pocket. I had my college education and I had my work ethic that I had received from my parents, both hardworking school teachers. And I came into the Fraser Valley. I had a friend here and ended up, as I said earlier, I ended up staying for 33 years. I love Grand County. I love everything about Grand County.
Yes, we do.
I started McConnell Printing Company in 1989. I've employed almost 25 people over those number of years. Very passionate about business and things that are happening in Grand County. I currently sit on the Winter Park Chamber board. As a board member, I'm very proud of the things that we've been able to do at the chamber level as far as bringing events. This last July, we had our third best July in sales tax revenue in the town of Winter Park. We're very, very proud of that in a down economy that we were able to, with the help of the town of Winter Park and how they step up financially to help the chamber to bring people into town. I think that's what it's all about. We have to continue to have commerce in a town where tourism is all of a sudden one of our biggest drivers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That it is. What do you believe on a county level to boost the economic development and spur growth in your district? What do you want to do? What do you need to do? And what do you plan on doing?
Well, the county commissioners a few months ago did hire a business and economic development person, and I applauded them for that. I've been with a group of people that have talked about having that happen for a number of years, and the county commissioners really didn't buy into it. A couple months ago, they did buy into it, and they decided to hire this person. And again, I applaud them for that. However, I wasn't very happy at the way that they did it. I had submitted a strategic economic and development plan to the county commissioners. I've done some work with a firm that specializes in business and economic development outside of Colorado, but this firm was very, very good at what they do. Business and economic development is a very specialized entity that's out there right now. And Grand County hired a person that was, and I think she's doing a good job. I really think that she is up against it in the fact that there's so many things that go into the business and economic development as far as data collection. What your plan is, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are our opportunities, what are our threats? And I think that Grand County would have been better suited hiring an outside firm to define exactly what it is they were trying to do and how they were going to get there. Again, I think the business and economic development person that's currently there is doing a good job. I just think that her task of what she needs to do in order to make a difference is maybe insurmountable.
It's not really being defined.
It isn't being defined. And it's kind of like I like to think of things as throwing darts at a board. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're going to get a bullseye, but you're probably not. So what I would have done is I would have went out and kind of defined the scope of work. And I would have hired a firm, and I want to be very clear to let you know and let the viewers know that I'm not a fan of more government, of creating jobs in the government sector. I would have cut someplace else to hire this person. We can probably talk about that later. But I think that if you know where you want to try to go in business and economic development, that would be more commerce, more revenue, more people in Grand County. How are we going to get there? Instead of just saying, okay, here's your title, here's your position, let's make this happen. I would have done things a little bit differently. I would have hired an outside expert firm to define things. And this firm that I had talked about, they would have even helped with the headhunting to make sure that you hire a person that has maybe a master's degree or a doctor's degree in business and economic development.
So with some of the deficiencies that we're seeing right now in the county government that you're kind of defining right now, what are your thoughts for change? I mean, how are you going to proceed to move forward with these changes?
I believe that county government needs to be more efficient. My background in my adult life has been as a business owner.
Private industry.
Private industry. There's a big difference between the private sector and the public sector. In my world, in the private sector, being a business owner, I have to analyze every decision I'm going to make, whether it's an employee, supplies I'm buying, whatever that might be, to make sure that I'm making the best decision for my business. In the public sector, you have an endless stream of revenue coming in. And let's just say that the public sector workers don't have as much skin in the game as myself as a private sector worker. I have to analyze everything that I do. If I make a bad decision, I could go out of business. Mm-hmm. In the public sector, they make a bad decision, and what happens? Maybe you don't get elected as re-elected is the worst thing that could happen. So I think that there needs to be more efficiency in county government, and if elected, I want to go look at every department, how they do things, and see if I might be able to find a place where there could be a savings or become more efficient.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So that's what you'd probably do. The first thing is jump in there and start redefining or submitting ideas on how to reduce the government in the valley.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that Grand County government has done a pretty good job, but there's always places that you can become more efficient, and I'm a big fan of becoming efficient. I also think that the Grand County government needs to be accountable for everything that they do. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you happen to know how many people are in the government?
I believe there's 283 employees that work for Grand County.
And again, that's full-time employees?
Full-time equivalents, I believe. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some part-time workers there, but just under 300.
And are a lot of those been in there for a long period of time?
I haven't done a lot of research about that, but it appears that a lot of people that work for the county have been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thought. I want to kind of continue with this. I want to continue with Meet the Candidate here with Grand County Channel 18, and we'll be right back with some more questions with Chaz McConnell.
Meet the Candidates, brought to you by Grand County Television, Channel 18.
Hello there, Gary DeVries again, back with Chaz McConnell on Meet the Candidate. We are here for the County Commissioner race, District 1. And I want to keep asking you some more questions. We talked about government. I have a question with the school district here. I know that you've had family, and you have family that's been active in the school system on many levels, and what are your thoughts on the school system and the challenges we face in the years ahead for the kids and the faculty?
Well, you're right, Gary. I have 2 children in the school district right now, and I'm very, very passionate about school and education. Both my parents were school teachers, public school teachers. In today's world, when you see 47% of graduating college seniors from college that can't find work, that's really troubling. One of the things that I've been involved with the school district is wanting to know why their performance, their rating of their grades, which is information that I have that you can go to my website. When you look at West Grand School District, their overall performance is an A, their academic growth is an A+. So the people in West Grand, Kremling area are doing a fantastic job with their kids. When we go to the East Grand School District, the overall performance is a C, but their academic growth is a D. And I find this really troubling, and I've talked to the school board about it. Why is that? We have a really good elementary schools. Our middle schools are very good. So those are the same kids that are going from the elementary school to the middle school and then into high school. And then when you get to high school, we kind of fall off the earth there. So my question is why? There's probably a number of reasons. I have a 16-year-old kid, and anyone out there that has teenagers, you know, things kind of change in their world when they get to high school. But I have asked the school district to raise the bar. We aren't doing these kids any favors by sending them to college with not having the education that they need to go forward. So how do we do that? We need better teachers. We need to pay our teachers more. I know all school districts are struggling. Back in a couple years ago, we closed, there was talk of closing Fraser Valley Elementary and Grand Lake. That became a very, very big issue where a lot of people became involved, which I love seeing people be involved. Don't get involved because there's an issue. Get involved because this is something you truly believe in.
Right.
I think that on that level, we just need to be able to pay our teachers more. We need to have people coming to Grand County because of our schools and because of our economy, instead of the exact opposite. People are leaving Grand County because of our schools and because of our economy. We have to find a way to get that turned around. Things that I've done with the school district in 2007, I found an accounting error that the county was making that netted $1 million to the school district. Well, it was fantastic, you know, $1 million. That was great. What wasn't great about that is this accounting error had been going on for a number of years, and there were $2, $3, $4 million that the school district did not receive because of this accounting error. Last year, I noticed a big discrepancy in the benefits to salary percentage for East Grand school teachers. And I did a bunch of research, and a fellow business owner of mine, we went to the school district and asked them, can we form a committee just to look at your benefit package? We did that, and in the end, after 4 months and a lot of back and forth arguing on why we should take a look at this, we were able to go out and shop benefit health insurance for the teachers that ended up the teachers having the exact same coverage from the exact same company, and because we shopped it, which hadn't been done only a few times in 20 years, the school district netted $100,000 savings. $100,000 are real dollars that can go to technology or to be giving teachers raises or whatever we need to do in order to enhance the school district. One of the big troubling things with me, with the school district, has been there's been all these cuts, and we're taking away curriculum. And if we're taking away curriculum that's not coming back, one of my things is business. There was a business class at the high school that is no longer there. When are we going to add these back in? I mean, that's very, very important. I'm very passionate about business. I'd like to see these added back in.
And they've reduced the other entities also, some of the sports, some of the music, some of the artwork also. You think this is more of a faculty, superintendent, or is it a parent issue with the school issues here that you're talking about?
I think that it's across the board. I think that there could be better leadership in East Grand School District. I think that there's a number of things that could happen.
Is it more committees or more responsibility for the people that elected or signed in for the superintendent's jobs?
I think that, again, if we just raise the bar, we tell teachers, hey, you got to be a better teacher. We have to have, even the good teachers, we have to have better teachers. Our kids are depending on getting a good education. No matter what you do, everybody has to raise the bar. Our students and our kids that are going to college, they're competing against kids in China and India that have nothing. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, there aren't jobs for those graduating seniors. We have to give our kids every chance we possibly can to be able to succeed.
Okay. Chaz, I'm going to change topics a little bit from the school. The Fraser River is high on the endangered river list, and we have been struggling with the water issue for decades as Denver wants more. Your opponent has put many hours into the water rights issue of Grand County. Tell us your thoughts on Save the Fraser River issue that we're dealing with right now, still.
Well, my opponent has hung his hat on the water issues, and I do not agree with the latest, which is the Moffett Firming Project and also the Colorado River Cooperative Agreement. I would not have signed this agreement. It was signed on May 15th. There was a lot of hoopla. The governor came up. Everyone called it historic. I look at it as historically bad, and here's why. I look at it as a high-stakes poker game. We are dealing with water that's going to be taken out of our river forever. 80% of, as you know, 80% of the rivers in Grand County are diverted to the Front Range. Of the 20% that's left, they want to take half of what's left, Denver water and northern water. And there were some things in the cooperative agreement, like mitigation, that were never addressed. But yet our county commissioners, 2-1, voted for this agreement. So what has happened is we're leaving the mitigation piece, which is important to the health of the river, without meaningful enhancements, which are offered, and meaningful mitigation working together. The river's going to die. Things like flushing flows, things like water quality, water temperature, things like that. So the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers are the two entities that are going to decide what mitigation, if any, needs to happen for the cooperative agreement.
And they're having this issue right now up in Windy Gap.
Right, exactly. The Windy Gap is looking for their 1041 because they want to divert more water also. And as you know, Gary, this is all happening right now. I would urge all citizens to call their county commissioners, or you can go to my website or call me personally, 531-1022, and I'll be happy to discuss this with you. Very, very complicated issues, but the bottom line is they want to take more water out of our already distressed rivers, and we cannot let this happen.
So we still need the Save Our Fraser River signs. We still need to push this issue here quite a bit.
Absolutely. Maybe you've seen the Save the Fraser River bumper stickers. That was an idea that I came up with 7 years ago. I designed it. I printed 10,000 of them. I distributed them to all citizens that wanted them to put on their car because I wanted citizens in Grand County to become aware of this gigantic problem we're having. What's most troubling about these water issues is our commissioners are signing documents that are going to last forever. For my kids, your kids, their kids, this water is going to leave. And when this water's gone, it is gone. So this is extremely important. People need to get involved, and they need to call their commissioners. They need to call all three commissioners and say, vote no against the Windy Gap firming project.
Okay, that's very good information. Thank you. The landfill issue. Well, let's talk about the landfill here. It's obviously going to be a problem for our country, our county, for a long time to come, and they've already put millions of dollars into it, and will continue to put millions of dollars into it. What do we do? How do we take care of that?
Well, that's the $20 million question, because it's going to cost between $20 and $30 million to fix it. I guess the biggest problem I have with the landfill is, why did it happen? Who was in charge? I know you can't go back and fix things, but were there soil and engineering reports that were looked at? I know that this landfill started moving years and years ago, but yet it remained opened. So why did that happen? Why now, if elected, I'm going to be faced with this gigantic $20 million, $30 million problem to fix? Once again, getting back to hiring experts. I know Grand County has a number of engineering firms that are working on this. They think that they have the experts in the field. I would want to make absolutely sure that the engineering firm that was telling me, yes, this is what we're going to have to do and it's going to cost $20 million to fix it, that was absolutely the right solution to the problem. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a $5 million fix. Maybe there's an $8 million fix. And again, I wouldn't be for spending more money, but I would want to make absolutely sure that the recommendation by the engineering firm is the right one.
Mm-hmm. And with that, with the money that we have to put into doing the landfill, the county has put together a debt-free plan, cutting services and salaries. At this point, what are your thoughts on the reserves? The county does have reserves right now to use money. Do you feel that spending money on economic development plan, or will that make a difference in our community?
Oh, absolutely. Grand County, as you know, is debt-free and approximately $25 million in the bank. Now, as a taxpayer, not as a politician, but just as a taxpayer, I look at that and I say to myself, well, if there's $25 million in the bank, the annual budget of the county is about $35 million, maybe my taxes are too high. Maybe I'm not getting the goods and services that I should expect as a taxpayer. I'm not saying I'm going to cut taxes or do anything like that. I think we need to, having reserves is a very, very good thing. Mm-hmm. Being debt-free is a very, very good thing. But to have this enormous amount of reserves, yes, if we go to the dump and drill 5 holes that cost $500,000 to do testing, and that seems to happen very easily from the county commissioners to make that determination, why wouldn't we take some money and put it towards economic development that's going to enhance Grand County? Everybody's going to benefit from it. And I would like to see, whether it's Kremling, Grand Lake, Granby, Winter Park, I would like to see some economic development go all corners of of Grand County so that everybody can win.
Do you think they put it more in the government entities, or should they put it more in the private industry, the private business people, the economic development?
I think the economic development needs to be where private sector is going to win. Not so much where we're going to go and we're going to give all business owners money. We need to figure out a way to get more people to come to Grand County. Like it or not, we are a tourist-driven economy up here. We've got to get a way to figure out how to get more people here, get light industry here, get jobs here. People are leaving Grand County, again, as I said earlier, because of the schools and because of the economy. Mm-hmm. We have got to stop that alarming trend, and we have got to get people to move here.
Okay. Have you held public office before?
I have not. The only, I sit on the Winter Park Chamber Board.
Some of the committees and...
Yeah, and I've sat on a number of committees with the school. I sat on the ad hoc committee, which was a committee that was looking to ways to raise money to keep Fraser and Grand Lake open, which we did. We came up with $500,000, which we were asked from the public sector, donations, a little bit of money from the county, to keep the school open. And in the end, and I apologize to Grand Lake, they closed your school, and I still feel very, very bad about that. They closed Grand Lake Elementary.
Yep. Yeah, we all do. What qualifies you to establish your policies for the county? And why do we want people to vote for you? Why do you want people to vote for you and say, go for Chaz McConnell? What can you make the difference in this county, this valley?
Well, again, I think I bring my, my private sector, my business skills to the table. I've lived in Grand County for a long time. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I see the struggle. I've been in the business world. I've seen the struggle of businesses just struggling to keep their doors open. I see people where their houses are foreclosed. And we've got to figure out a way to change this trend. Grand County, over the last number of years, really has done nothing for business and economic development. I know I've been beating on that drum for this entire interview. If you continue to do the same things the same way over and over and over,
same policy,
what's going to change? Nothing's going to change. I bring new ideas, new enthusiasm to county government. And again, I want to be efficient. I want to try to run the county like a government or a business. I want to look at how things are done and how can we be more efficient.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck in the next election, in the election coming up here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Gary, very much. I would like to encourage all voters to educate themselves on all the candidates. My opponent has been in office for 16 years, for 4 terms. He wants 4 more years to do something. I'm not sure I know what that is, but I will promise the voters of Grand County that I will listen to every one of your needs. I will always be accessible, and I will work very, very hard for the citizens of Grand County. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Chaz, for being here. It was a delight meeting you and seeing you. Gary DeVries and Chaz McConnell, we are with Channel 18 and with Meet the Candidate. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.